A few months ago, I tried out Sendico to see if it was actually worth it, but there are other services just like Sendico that might do a better job or just be cheaper. Buyee is the same kind of thing as Sendico. It's another proxy service that allows people from outside of Japan to buy from local listings within Japan, for a fee, of course. Buyee even offers more websites to choose from compared to Sendico. And since they offer the same exact service, that makes Buyee better, right? Well, if you haven't watched my Sendico video, I highly recommend you watch that one first. While I'm gonna try to make this video stand on its own, it's definitely more of a part 2 of a multi-part docuseries. In other words, I'm gonna compare my Buyee experience to my Sendico experience every step of the way. Plus, it's just a really solid video, so please go watch it. This video will still be structured like the Sendico video for the most part. We're gonna explore Buyee, buy some stuff, show off the buying process for products and for shipping, unbox it, break down all the fees, and of course, complain. Let's start off by just looking at Buyee, and wow, there is a lot going on. It's a bit overwhelming and a little confusing just looking at the home screen. And apparently starting today through the almost end of the month, Buyee fees are free? How do they make their money? Get a coupon. This also looks like a fake ad. Oh, if you get alcohol or purses or fish hooks and clothes. Okay, so it's probably not gonna work with things that I want. Okay, we're just gonna ignore that. Like in the last video, I'm not an auction guy. I'm gonna avoid auctions for now. And I think I'm just gonna go straight to Mercari. Okay, an eBay option. That's interesting. I can access Japanese eBay. Yeah, this is literally just American eBay. Well, we don't need to search eBay. Let's go to Mercari. Okay, so we've got direct search, we've got auto translate and search, and AI support. I'm just gonna go for auto translate and search because it's hot, apparently. It'll take the words that you put in the search bar, translate it to Japanese, and then search it. That way you'll hopefully have a little more accuracy. So immediately we have a $4,000 Game Boy Advance in box, and it looks like it's still sealed. At that price, I hope it is. I didn't know there was a Crazy Taxi game for the Game Boy Advance. I'm gonna need to check that out. $7 for WarioWare Twisted? Hold up. Close to unused, huh? I don't know about that. It does look really good. Wow. Shipping paid by seller. That's nice. Estimated 1 to 2 day shipping. That's fairly normal. Immediately, I don't think Buyee looks as clean as Sendico, but the prices of items aren't on Buyee and Sendico. All they are is a proxy service. They're just going to show you listings and then they'll ask for a little bit extra money every time you purchase something. But I have a list of things that I want to get. I still want a Virtual Boy. I want to get Duck Hunt and a Zapper for my Famicom that right now isn't working. And I want to get a couple more of the Metroid games. Let's start with looking at Duck Hunt. Duck Hunt is like my favorite NES game. Oh, and this might be a little harder to look for. $75 to get it complete in box. Is it really that expensive? This one's not bad. $6, 38 cents. Seller pays shipping. Oh man, add to shopping cart. Yeah, I love that. I need to find a blaster. Famicom gun. I'm gonna try and auto translate and search that one. Maybe try blaster. Nope. Okay, I guess it was just called gun. And this isn't really a fault of Buyee, but it can be hard to find the right search terms for specific items. Both Sendico and Buyee seem to use Google Translate for translating searches. Buyee's translating is just sexier, I guess. Buyee does have every company's favorite new buzzword, but I found AI support to be completely useless. Either way, I was struggling to find the right keywords to search for these guys. I love Duck Hunt, so naturally I wanted the Japanese cartridge that also happens to be in my favorite color. But the NES Zapper won't work with the Famicom since it has a different controller port. So the Famicom Blaster is something I need if I'm actually going to play Duck Hunt on my Famicom. Eventually I grabbed the cheapest listing I could find, but that turned into a whole nother problem later on. More on that later. One of my biggest frustrations during the Sendico video was inland shipping. Like a lot of online listings, some sellers will cover the shipping and some will charge you for it. And when I do have to pay for shipping, sites like eBay will tell me exactly how much that will cost. But neither Sendico nor Buyee will give you an estimate for the inland, or in this case, domestic shipping. Obviously, we have to pay for the shipping from their warehouse to us, but I'm talking about the shipping from the seller to the warehouse. Thankfully, most of the Japanese listings I come across, the seller pays shipping. But that's not always the case. So if you are the one that has to pay shipping, you'll just get charged whatever the seller decides the shipping costs, and you just have to be okay with it. Personally, I'm not a fan of that, but at least Buyee gives you a big ol' warning. I'm not going to get too into the weeds about it because I already did that in the last video, but it would be really easy for these companies to at least give an estimate of how much shipping to the warehouse would cost. If you couldn't tell, this is incredibly frustrating to me. This time around, I decided to not purchase any listings that had me pay the domestic shipping to keep my veins from popping out of my skin. And speaking of shipping, when I made my account, I got a little confused on how to put in my address. This whole sign up process is a little weird. It says apartment, suite, unit, building, floor. I don't live in an apartment, but it says address 1 as in line 1, which would usually be the house number, the street. But that's the next line, the street address, which is optional according to the red warning label there. And then town, well, I just put in my city above. I know addresses are different all around the world, and I've already put in that I'm in the United States of America, so they should know how that address works. So I'm a little confused, but I'm gonna put it in how I'd normally put it in and hope that this is the right way to do it. I'll just leave those other things blank because I don't know. I'm confused. I ended up just putting my address in the normal 3-line system that we have in the US, but you might want to ask support for clarification. And if you're watching this Buyee, please fix this. Line 1 is street address, line 2 is apartment and all that stuff, and line 3 would be city, state, and zip code, but it's not necessary here since you already had me enter those things above. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like it's really important to have the address part as straightforward as possible. But now that we got that cleared up, let's try buying everything. So I've got everything in my cart. So we proceed to order page. It's saying I've got a bunch of coupons, 9% off, limited to Honto. I don't know what Honto is. I feel like none of these coupons are going to work for me. This is very confusing. I feel like these are for like individual sellers. I don't know. You can add them all to a cart, but you still have to buy them individually, which just seems a little silly. Okay. Standard plan, 500 yen. Insured delivery only, 500 yen. Inspection only, 300 yen. Light plan, 0 yen. What does that mean? You get insured delivery and inspection, which apparently is normally 800 yen, which is a little more than Sendico. Just insured delivery, you don't get an inspection for 500 yen. That saves you 300 yen according to the regular price. I don't know if it's always on sale or what. I don't know. 300 yen will just get you inspection, and 0 yen, nothing. They won't inspect it, and the delivery won't be insured. Personally, for peace of mind, the standard plan seems good to me. But if you want to roll the dice, I think that's a cool option because now I'm saving money. Yeah, that's cool to have options. I'm just confused about how they make their money. Okay, there it is. I was going to say that feels like a bit more extra. So there are plan fees, but then there's still a Buyee service fee. Throughout this whole process, I've been trying to keep it all as even as possible, and I chose the standard plan for everything because I assumed that matched Sendico's offerings. But I'm not exactly sure if Sendico's 500 yen service fee includes domestic shipping insurance or not. I know that they at least check to make sure that you're not getting a pile of rocks, and I hope that Buyee would do the same even if you choose the light plan. Why is it called the light plan? It's extremely light because there's nothing there. Either way, you have 4 different options to choose from for fees, and you could end up paying less in this part of the purchase. And on top of that, Buyee doesn't charge you credit card fees. I just realized they didn't charge me credit card fees, I don't think. No, unless they do that later. Maybe they do that for shipping. It doesn't mean you're paying less overall, but we'll talk totals more at the end of the video. Being able to add things to my cart was awesome, but a bit pointless when I still had to purchase each listing individually. At that point, your cart is just a glorified wish list, but hey, you don't have to add funds to the wallet just to buy something. So far, my shopping experience felt a little better with Buyee, but that could also be because I had a better idea of what I was getting myself into this time. However, Buyee didn't keep popping up with fees that I wasn't expecting. Now that every listing was purchased, all I had to do was wait for them to arrive at Buyee's warehouse, and oh, there's an email from them already. Yeah, so apparently I'm not allowed to buy the Famicom gun because of Japan's international shipping rules. And while I think it's incredibly stupid that I can't buy a toy gun for a video game from the 80s made by a reputable Japanese company, it's not Buyee's fault. They're just following their local laws, even if it's a stupid law. If anything, it's a positive thing that Buyee stopped it both times I tried to purchase it, because it saved me from the heartache of not getting something that I paid for. I guess I'm just gonna have to go to Japan and smuggle it on the plane myself. TSA won't even see me coming. But once everything arrived at the warehouse, it was super simple. I checked off everything I wanted to consolidate into one big package to ship to me, and whether or not I wanted to pay extra for protective packaging. That was 1,500 yen compared to Sendico's 500 yen, but I purchased it anyway to keep it fair. It automatically chose EMS for my international shipping, but don't worry, we'll be able to change that once the package is consolidated. And the very next day, it was consolidated and ready for me to pay for international shipping. It was a lot more than I was expecting, and I was getting a little frustrated because I couldn't choose FedEx. I know everybody has had different experiences, but for me, FedEx has always been my favorite, especially for international packages. Plus, I wanted to keep it fair / make it really easy to compare shipping prices. But based off of prior knowledge and context clues, I figured Buyee Air was just FedEx or at least something equivalent. So I took the gamble and paid $62.28 for Buyee Air to ship it to me. Besides that bit of frustration and confusion, the international shipping process went smoothly. And about a week later, Buyee Air delivered my package. The package is small enough this time I can actually sit down. There's so much tape on this thing. I can't even see where the cardboard actually splits. Holy crap. Does the cardboard split? Is this the bottom of it? Oh, why would you put tape down the middle? It's the other style of box. Someone's pulling a prank on me over at Buyee. Why do you have tape down the middle if it opens like this? This is a weird box, man. It's all four sides are this big. This is over the top. Good Lord. Maybe this is what I paid an extra 1,500 yen for. I don't know. There is a lot of extra packaging here. And it's all just like bundled up in one though. Really? Okay. Whoa. Do that. This could have been in a much smaller box. But I mean, okay. That was probably $1,500 worth of packaging for sure. Was it packed well? I don't know. Interesting. I'm already forgetting what I bought, but this is just a weird way of packaging things. Because like there's not protection for each of these individual things. And they're boxes and a charger. Okay, there's more individual wrapping here. You know what? That's fair. At first, I was a little disappointed with this packaging, but they did bubble wrap my box and put it in a bubble wrapped mailer and then stacked it all in there in a bigger bubble wrap. Personally, I feel like they shouldn't have been all wrapped into one big lump. I feel like they should have had individual bubble wraps around them and stacked up just like in Sendico's box, but also just like in Sendico's box. They just had boxed games loose randomly. Some of them properly wrapped, others just in a plastic bag thrown in with the rest of it. At some point during its journey halfway around the world, the Famicom could have crushed that. I feel like, I don't know. It's here. It looks relatively safe. We'll see. But I guess I do appreciate this. I just wish it wouldn't have been wrapped all into one. I don't know. Maybe that is better. I'm not a packaging guru. It just doesn't feel as good. I don't know. Sendico's packaging felt better. And it's like, okay, each of these games doesn't need to be individually wrapped. But I don't know, you have all of that packaging loose in there, just bunched up. Then these are just in one tiny bubble wrap sack. I don't know. Just seems a little silly there. But I probably picked this because Metroid Fusion's in here. But I definitely picked it because Metroid Fusion's in here. But I forgot that it was in here. Now I'm pumped. We've got a Fire Red and a Ruby. These are all like untested games. If they don't just work off of a quick cleaning, there'll be a video on these. And when these are fixed, these will be thrown in random orders. So buy a Game Boy, retroremaster.com. Game Boy Advance games will be thrown in with Game Boy Advances. So, but that excludes Metroid Fusion because I want this game. Other than that, I don't really care about the rest of these. This must be Bayonetta. Bayonetta in its own plastic bag. Seriously, like I said in the Seneko video, what's up with this? This happens in a lot of my Japanese packages, and I don't know why this is necessary when this is a sealed game. Oh, it is partially sealed. It's already kind of torn. Hey, $25 for a sealed Bayonetta. That's really hard to find around here. You're not getting the sealed Bayonetta game in the US for $20, I'll tell you that. Hopefully there's an English language option. Actually, I think this whole game is just in English. I'm realizing now that Switch game cases are different unless this is also a fake Switch game. That would suck. Now I'm a little scared. They're not faking games in Japan. It's one way to find out if it's real or not. Oh, yep. Oh, God, I forgot how bad that tastes. Oh, no. I don't think they're doing that to the fake games. Oh, but anyways, Metroid 2. It's the first time I actually own a copy of it. I mean, I've owned a copy of it the whole time. Every time you've seen it on a flashcard, that was my copy. I just got a Japanese boxed one. Anyways, I don't condone piracy. The label looks fake, but I know it's real because it has like the 23 indent on it. But I don't know, the art just looks fake. I don't know, but that's a clean, very clean cart. Whoever owned this took good care of it. And this is just a AGS-001 that needs a clean power switch. And it just works. Look at that. I don't have to fix a Game Boy for once. Well, I need to go in and clean the power switch, but that's nice. Our last two games. I mean, these are plastic boxes with the smaller cardboard boxes within them. These are kind of gross. I don't care about Zelda 2. Most people don't like Zelda 2. I think it's called Link 2, technically. I don't know. Adventures of Link, something like that. But yeah, it just came with this listing. I really wanted this, and this was also a slamming deal. I'll put it up on screen, but I do not remember. For the two games and this, it was a good deal. Otherwise, it was just an okay deal for this. And I got a Famicom because the Famicom I got last time isn't going so well. I don't know. The packaging seemed fine, but some things felt better, but some things didn't feel as good. I don't know. I felt like just more bubble wrap around individual things instead of in the bubble mailers. But then it also had bubble wrap in the bubble mailers. I don't know. It just didn't feel as good. I really don't know how to explain it, but Buyee's packaging just didn't look or feel as good as Sendeko's. Nothing arrived broken with either package, but I did pay Buyee a lot more, so I had higher expectations. At the very least, I expected an equivalent packaging job. Well, I guess they did both randomly decide to not bubble wrap some of the boxed games, and just like I did with the Sendeko video, there will be an extended cut of the unboxing up on the second channel, live right now, link in the description. But now that everything is said and done, let's talk money. Pre any fees, I paid 36,799 yen, or about $260.86 for 5 listings. Now that is significantly less than the $390-ish I spent on 8 listings with Sendeko, so I will be talking percentages later to keep it fair. I spent 4,000 yen or $28.37 on Buyee fees, which was the same amount I spent on Sendeko fees, but I also only bought from 5 listings compared to 8 with Sendeko, and these were the per listing fees. Plus, like I said, I could have paid as low as 300 yen per listing if I wanted to. And because of that, Buyee had the edge until we got to the international shipping. Not only do I think that Sendeko did a better job with their packaging, but their protective packaging fee was 1,000 yen cheaper than Buyee's. However, this is where Sendeko really pulls ahead. Both of my international packages were sent via FedEx. Excuse me, Buyee Air. With the packaging fees included, Sendeko only charged me $50 and Buyee charged me $62.28. And you might be thinking, come on, Jake, you're being a little dramatic over $12. If you remember back to my Sendeko video, I made a big deal about the weight of the package. Weight is the single most important factor when it comes to shipping prices. The Sendeko package weighed 11.8 pounds, and the Buyee package was only 4.6 pounds. I paid $12 more for a package that weighed 2.5 times less? Are you kidding me? Why don't you before you Buyee? I'm sorry you had to hear that. Let's just rip the band-aid off. While I don't care for the way Sendico handles the buying process, they really do make it as cheap as possible for the customer while still charging a fair amount for the great work they do. And as much as I prefer Buyee's experience, it's not at all worth the extra money. Sendico's way of doing things will make you feel like you're being nickeled and dimed, but you're being lulled into a false sense of security with Buyee just for them to way overcharge you for shipping. I just realized they didn't charge me credit card fees. And when I spend a lot of money, I think that's better. And as I promised, here are the percentages. I paid a total of $490 with Sendico, and about 20% of that was shipping and fees. For Buyee, I paid a total of $351.51, and about 26% of that was shipping and fees, 18% of which was shipping alone. You can do the math. Have fun. So while fees were about the same as Sendico's no matter what plan you chose for Buyee, you're going to pay almost double for shipping. Normally, I don't like to declare a winner when I make my comparison videos, but I don't see why there would be any reason to choose Buyee over Sendico unless you really want to buy from one of the extra vendors they support that Sendico doesn't. Breaking news. As I was just finishing up the edit for this entire video, I got to the point where I was about to say, when it comes to the vendors that they both support, they are the same exact listings at the same exact prices. The only difference is one will charge a lot more to ship it to you. And you may have noticed for part of that there was no B-roll. I was just looking down, reading it straight off my script because I was going to put up the same listing on both websites. Here's the listing on Buyee for a boxed copy of Pokemon Crystal. It is 9,300 yen. You can view it on Mercari. And it says 9,300 yen, approximately $62.69. Same approximation over here. And if you go over to Sendico, same exact listing, 9,300 yen, but 59.52. And my first thought was, that's weird, but it's not a big deal because it's the same price in yen. And that's just like an approximate, right? And if you do the conversion yourself, because the Forex market is something that is always changing literally every second of the day, you can see that Sendico was 10 cents off of what it really is right now. And they probably don't have it update every second. It's just like a guide because you pay for the listings in yen. So it doesn't really matter what the dollar amount is or whatever your currency is because you're going to be paying the yen. That's why you add funds to the wallet and then you're just going to pay with yen. So there's no conversion for buying individual listings. This is just to help you not spend too much, I guess. However, over on Buyee, when it's much more expensive, this actually does make a big difference. This is a big deal. Yes, it's only $3 difference, but this isn't an estimate. I don't add funds to the wallet. I don't pay in yen. Over on Buyee, I pay in USD. Throughout this video, you've watched me every step of the way, and it has all been in the US currency. You can look at my credit card statement. Whatever US price they told me when I was checking out was how much they took out of my account. So they're either really bad at converting yen to any other currency, or they're inflating the price to make even more money off of you. So they are the same exact listings at the same exact prices, but Buyee will still somehow charge you more. I'm guessing this is how they sneak in their credit card fees or their conversion fees. I don't know if it costs money for them to convert it, but yeah, I just can't recommend Buyee anymore. There is no reason for you to pay more for the same exact listings. Every step of the way, you are paying more. I will never be using Buyee again. I know some of you will think I'm biased because I have a referral code for Sendico, but I feel like the numbers speak for themselves. Plus, I still have plenty of grievances with Sendico that I made abundantly clear in the last video. So I'll leave my Sendico link down below if you'd like to help support me. I feel like this is all very cut and dry, but I'd love to know what you guys think. Are you going to try Buyee or Sendico? Have you already tried one or both of them before? Did this video make you feel like you got ripped off by Buyee? Let me know in those comments down below. Assuming that this video does as well as the Sendico video, I will be ending this trilogy by trying out Zen Market. I don't think it's as popular as Buyee or Sendico, but I sure do get a lot of Instagram ads for them. But anyways, like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Later, guys. Live footage of me buying things. Live footage of me taking a drink. Delicious.